So, 2 weeks in prison, how's it been?
It's been fascinating.
Remember, if you can't do the time, don't do the crime, Simon.
I was just talking with Lil, actually, and she said, and have they done this? And are you able to do this? And I said, I think that's MIQ Plus you're talking about. I like the idea that there's somehow striations that you get to pay a little more for.
Yeah, if your name was Hugh Jackman, you would be able to do whatever you want. Hi, I'm Nicole Kidman. Come right through. Please cough into my face directly.
What was the word?
Cough. Cough. What did you think I wanted her to do to my face?
I don't know. I just missed it. I just wanted to clarify.
That's nice. Thanks for that.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. If there's anything else you want to just expectorate or just generally hoik out of your body in front of me, I'm good.
There's going to be a knock at my door soon with my breakfast.
Oh, are you going to eat during the podcast?
Well, yeah, I feel a little awkward, but I thought I might try. It's waffles. I can't wait till it cools down. I can't wait till it cools down even more. My waffle.
This is a podcast in which two friends have serious conversations about silly things and silly conversations about serious things.
I'm Simon Ellis.
And I'm Lee Miller.
Welcome to Midlifing.
So are you D-Mob happy?
What'd you say?
Are you D-Mob happy?
D-Mob.
You understand the phrase, yeah?
Of course I do.
Okay.
Oh, do you hear that?
That's your waffles. Get your waffles.
My waffles.
Go get them. Go get them.
Hang on.
Okay.
I have to put my mask on and stuff. And I can't hear you right now. Thank you. It's going to be so strange when I get to open a door without having to put a mask on.
Yeah. How are your waffles?
They are pretty much the same as the last 4 times I've had them.
Okay. What fruit have you got? Yeah, well, the waffles.
I've got kiwi fruit.
Mm-hmm. How appropriate in New Zealand.
Yes, it's a New Zealand-themed waffle. And some raspberries. A little bit squashed.
Okay.
And a little thing of maple syrup to pour over them. Should I eat them? Or should I wait?
Oh, you should eat them. Come on. There's probably somebody out there who's going to think this is ASMR, and they'll be all like, oh, Simon and Lee go mukbang. How exciting.
I can never remember that acronym.
ASMR?
I've just dropped the cord of my headphones into the
maple syrup.
Yes. I've just licked the cord of my headphones.
So tell me, have you come across the concept of the mukbang?
The mukbang.
Yeah, MUKBANG, mukbang.
I'm just taking a photo of my setup because I think it is very funny with the waffles in the background.
Well, if you take if you filmed yourself eating it, we could actually go full mukbang for the listener. Listen to you taking a photograph with the actual clicky noise.
I forgot. I've had my phone. Come on, Mr. Apple Watch. I've had my phone on, which I never have my phone with the noise on.
Yeah.
Noise. Because actually there are people who are calling me at the moment that I really want to be able to talk with.
Yeah, you don't want to
Mum.
miss it. Yeah, because you could be 12 feet away from your phone. You would hate to miss it. Because that was actually serious in the sense that if you're in a room of the dimensions that you're in and your phone's on silent and it's the wrong way around, you could miss a call and that would be like, well, what the fuck else am I doing in this room? Is your mum super, super stoked about you getting out?
She is pretty excited, yeah. And I'm really looking forward to hanging out with her and with my brothers, and my sister's an MIQ now as well, not the same.
Is she?
Hotel. Yeah, she's a week behind me.
And just your sister, or have the offspring also come?
Are you trying to shame her?
Why would I be shaming her for having children?
No, for not bringing them, I mean.
No, I was just trying to work out how many people were in MIQ.
How many Ellises are in MIQ?
Yeah. Is there the full set?
You
or
know,
is
just her.
okay,
Yeah.
I can imagine the expense is not something to be sneezed at either.
MIQ is not. This is an expensive waffle. Yes, 3,100 New Zealand dollars. Not the waffle.
No, just the experience. Wowzers, that's a spicy meatball, as they say nowhere.
It is, and most listeners probably won't quite know what a New Zealand dollar is worth. But let's just imagine that it's worth a lot.
Yeah, let's say it's worth more than £1. I'm going to monologue for a little while so that you can chew and swallow, because
Should I stop? Should I do it?
No, I'm just anxious about you choking and trying to get them down too fast. So I'll just monologue at you while you chew.
Tell me about muck banging. Muck banging?
I don't know if you bang. I mean, you mukbang. I don't know if you would. I don't know how you conjugate the verb.
It's not a verb.
I don't know. But it's a thing that happens on the internet and on YouTube, where people order lots of food and eat it and film themselves eating it. And that seems to be the long and the short of it. So unfortunately, me explaining mukbanging will take less time than you eating your waffle. But there you go.
Did it originate in Japan?
I don't know. I don't know anything about it beyond I once stumbled across some people stuffing their faces full of Taco Bell and talking about the guac. I was quite concerned by them, but nevertheless they were guacking it all up and down town, and how creamy it was, and it just really cuts through, and I just had to switch it off.
And that was on the internet?
That was on the internet, yes. This wasn't on the BBC.
And how did you get from ASMR?
ASMR to mukbanging.
To mukbanging.
Well, because ASMR often is people like putting things like ice chips in their mouth and then putting their mouth near a microphone and then kind of like going, making noises. And I know they also do the kind of like, now I'm just going to, I'm just rubbing my fingers on my microphone, which I'm now doing. I don't know if you can hear that.
I know. I'm going to, here's some ASMR of waffle eating.
Oh, really? That makes me want to retch. Stop it. It's so upsetting to me. It's so upsetting. I find mouth sounds. I'm taking my headphones off. I have no idea if Simon is talking at this point, because I've taken my headphones off my ears because I can't cope with the idea of other people's mouth sounds. I mean, I'm okay in daily life, but when it comes to coming directly into my ear holes, it feels it feels too much.
You're not listening to me.
I'm not listening. I'm just talking because I've no idea if he is still.
Would you like ASMR of me eating a kiwi fruit?
What?
Would you like ASMR of me eating a kiwi fruit?
I would rather not. Hey, there's a kiwi fruit tree, or a kiwi tree, that's just around the corner from us. And Jeff has discovered it. And he has been in his little doggy element, walking underneath going, Lee, here's another kiwi. I'm going to eat it. Here's another kiwi. I'm going to eat it. I'm going to eat all these kiwis until I get... Oh, he ate about 7 and then was looking at me like, I think I might get diarrhea later. Who knows? Let's find out why the wind blows us.
He was totally mukbanging, wasn't he?
He was mukbanging on fallen kiwis.
I'm almost finished.
What are you using to mop?
Plastic spoon.
Oh, why don't you just go straight with your tongue? Just like get in there and just
quite
lick
a deep container, and I get it all over my mouth, and then it would be all over the mic.
Who's going to see?
Oh, wow! I'm mainlining maple syrup right now. Whoa! Holy shit!
In about 3 minutes' time, you're going to get really giddy, aren't you?
MIQ plus. Okay.
Do you have a topic for today?
I don't have a topic. There are various things that, a couple of things that happened that I could talk about, but I'm also happy to be. I'm happy to if you've got something on your mind.
No, my mind is pretty empty. The only thing that I'm aware of is that we opened a box on Shame a couple of weeks ago, and then we never emptied it out. And I wonder, this can easily be excised from the narrative should we want to, but I'm also remembering that I once asked you about the tattoo you had removed, and you
Oh,
said,
yes.
I'm not sure that I could talk about that, I'm too full of shame. So I was like, I wonder if we could blend the two together.
So I'm just doing a DuckDuckGo search for shame. Unpleasant self-conscious emotion typically associated with a negative evaluation of the self, withdrawal motivations and feelings of distress, exposure, mistrust, powerlessness, and worthlessness.
How do you separate shame and guilt?
Well, it's interesting you say that, because there's an entire section of they're making the distinction between societal or cultural values and internal values.
Right.
Shame being associated with societal or social or cultural values, while guilt from violations of one's internal values.
Oh, that's so interesting.
And I've never heard that before.
No, because I tend to think of guilt as being about something and shame being about nothing.
Well, I think the one that Brene Brown is that guilt is it's a feeling of regret about your actions.
Yeah.
And shame is about who you are.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
So guilt is something you did. Shame is who you are.
Yeah. Oh, God, that's a lot, isn't it? Maybe we should just put the lid back on it and carry on talking about mukbang.
So I don't know. I'm really uncomfortable talking about this. I have to
So
say.
let's put the lid on. Let's not
it's
Pandora
fine.
this motherfucker and just move
No,
on.
well, it's not really in the scheme of things. It's not really a big deal, is it?
I don't know, because I don't know the story. I remember a long time ago you telling me that you had a tattoo, and I want to say it was of a tiger on your back.
A tiger.
Well, that's what I remember, but I'm filling in blanks here, and then you having it lasered off.
I did have it lasered off. It was a naked woman, actually.
Oh, that makes a little bit more sense now, because
I didn't get a tattoo of a naked woman. I can't believe you would believe
well,
that.
I can't understand why you had a tattoo and then had it lasered off, because there's something about. Okay, you don't strike
it was not
me.
who I am.
Okay, but you don't strike me as somebody who has regrets, because it was exactly who you were in that moment. Come on, unpack, divulge.
So I did that thing, which is, when you go to, I don't know, the first time, maybe it's not different, but the first time you go to Turkey, you buy a Turkish hat, or you get some braid in your hair when you go to, France or somewhere, or Canada, or you pick up something local, which when you go back home, you go, oh, what came over me to think that this was a good thing to do.
Okay.
So I did that with a tattoo in America.
So you were in America?
I was.
Whereabouts? Whenabouts?
I was in. It was in 1995, and I was in Maine. Land of lobsters, blueberries, and as it turns out, tattoos. And so it was a little symbol, basically a circle, an unfinished circle, you might say. Mm-hmm. And initially, I didn't want it somewhere visible. It was like I thought of it as being something for me, like a kind of a reminder. And I thought I would have it like basically under the sort of line of my shorts, more or less on my kind of abdomen, but low. Effectively, what I remember someone I met called them those that part of your body, particularly men tend to have it, which is like a point where the abdominals sort of start to curve in, and it's like there's a little kind of. Anyway, doesn't really matter. And but the guy giving the tattoos said, I don't want to spend my life with my head down men's crotches.
Oh,
yeah, that was the mistake, because rather than go, oh well, I don't want to get it then.
Yeah,
I'll get it somewhere else. Got it on my back, which is on the back of my right shoulder, and was quite kind of happy with it. and then realised within weeks that, oh wow, this is not me at all. It was pretty simple, really. This doesn't. Yeah, this is not not the symbol, not the image, but having a tattoo.
The being marked.
Yeah, or just having a tattoo. I just thought, oh, this is really weird. I'm not. It's not. That doesn't make sense to me. It's also around the time. I mean, I think it's unrelated, but it was around the time when I got back. It was around the time Dad was sick, and so Dad was dying, and so I remember going. That was the first time I'd been back to New Zealand, and I had a tattoo, and I remember a little bit going, "Oh, I'm really self-conscious about this. Really self-conscious." And I think what it did was revealed how self-conscious I am as a human being.
Right.
And when I say, I don't know, compared with other people, am I more self-conscious? Am I less? No idea. And so that what it struck me was the other day, you said, I wouldn't change anything about myself. And I was really captured by that, and I still am. Like, to me, it's like I don't think it seems to me that you're happily self-conscious. You might say that you're aware of those things, but you wouldn't change them. Yeah, that really, it's kind of like the opposite for me. I was just going, I just feel so uncomfortable. Yeah.
So what was the bit that made you feel hot about talking about it? Because that feels like what it sort of...
I didn't. There was no one was harmed.
No, exactly. Because when you said like, I feel...
Except me, you might say.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it hurt. Really hurt. I do when I see people with lots of tattoos, I go, wow, I'm really impressed.
See, I've heard people say that, and I don't find it particularly uncomfortable. It's a bit tickly, but that's it.
You're quite experienced at them now, though, aren't you?
I guess so. I've got more than one.
5?
1, 2, 3.
Does Bob have a tattoo?
No, she doesn't. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, shit in hell. Hang about. I'm going to have to take some clothes off to count. 1, 2, 3.
This is like
4,
this is
5,
ASMR, counting tattoos.
6, 7. I've got 8.
Wow.
Hmm.
And do you have a favourite, or are they all your favourite children?
Oh, do I have a favourite? No, but I don't have a favourite. I think I have one that... okay. One of Bob's pregnancies went on for quite a long time. Longer, like well into the second trimester. And so she was experiencing lots of bodily changes, including new moles appearing on her body as a result of the hormones. When the baby died, she was left with these after effects. I don't mean the medical things that happen when a pregnancy ceases to
No,
to,
you
to
mean
work.
the moles.
I mean, exactly.
There
Were these markers. Yeah, exactly. There are these marks, and Bob found them to be quite reassuring in a way. That there was evidence for her of a thing that might have been. And I was talking about the distinction between her lived experience of that pregnancy and my lived experience of the pregnancy, and sort of obvious. I'm really stuttering now because I didn't know. Now I feel hot and weird.
It's we did miss a trick not calling the podcast "Hot and Weird," didn't we? Anyway, yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah. So I found myself kind of you know when you're about to say something and you know.
And also, just to preface it, you're really shitting over my tattoo story. That's for sure.
But I held no shame about this tattoo. But I think there is a possibility of hearing the story and going, what a God, there's going to have to be a lot of me editing my stammering out of this episode. Jesus. It will be
Well,
really...
you didn't have, and people will say, I really like, you just seem to just plow
just
in
seem to
there.
have
Didn't
these
have any doubts. Yeah, no problems with talking about this. It's amazing your ability to. Yeah, dear listeners,
so
you
good
have
at
no
cutting
idea
out.
how much stuttering gets cut out of these conversations. Go on.
I effectively was envious of the marks that Bob had on her body because she was able to point to something. And I said that out loud at one point, and Bob said, well, why don't you just have a mark? Why don't you just get marked so that you have something to point to, so that you... Because I said, I don't have anything to remember her by, and that makes me sad. And you do. You can point to all those things that happened on the outside of your body to point to her, and I don't have that. So effectively it becomes a memorial tattoo. If you say it like that, I won't lie, I think, God, that's so mawkish. But I also understand it from an internal perspective. That it's like there's something there that is not necessarily about a display to the outside world, but it might be about a display to yourself.
It's a spider, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a spider. And
where is it?
It's on
your arm.
on my left arm, on the inside of my bicep. And
that's right. It's a beautiful tattoo.
Yeah, it is. It was done really beautifully, and the artist was really great. It's the one that I struggle with the most because I have such complex emotions, complex memories about the process of it. But it was a spider because we would refer to the we talked about the baby. We called it spiderling because when it fluttered in Bob's belly, she said it was like having a belly full of spiders. So she called it spiderling because spiderlings is the name of baby spiders.
Yeah. I think the shame thing, of course. Well, I think there's also, in a way, by talking about it defuses or deshamifies. And that's, I think, that's partly is also because they're things that we hold close, that we suffer them. They're secrets. And so I would probably say that this was a secret that was publicly visible, which of course was not what I wanted it to be. And so that kind of sense of a visible, what I thought to be a mistake.
Yeah.
And that I never really, I never really got used to the idea of it being seen. So that like things do for us human beings, they just grow. They grow in our minds. We feed them and nourish them and cajole them into being. And so they become something much more than they ever were, ever would be, or ever could be, particularly for other people. Like that's what that's kind of that's what you're saying. Like, what's the big deal? I mean, it's not precisely what you said, but
No.
And I don't think you're being. I think that's an important thing to say. Really? And so this thing it became big in my mind, huge. Like I had, and that's, and the simplest way, two ways. One was to just bloody get used to it, which is what most people do, and the second way is to get it removed. Far more painful than getting it added, and far more expensive too. That's the story.
Maybe we should talk about why you can't watch horror and I can't watch a sports match.
No, I do think it's interesting, but also there was something that happened this week which I did want to talk about, which I'll save for next week.
Give us a spoiler. Go on, just go dun dun dun.
It's about saying sorry.
Oh, Simon, we could have talked about that.
You wanted to talk about tattoos?
I didn't know I wanted to talk about tattoos because I didn't know you had something
You've
good
been
to
saving it up.
Only a little bit.
You wanted to know about Singapore, those 9 days in Singapore.
I wanted to know about
and
the
ping pong
9-day
balls.
bender.
And all those ping pong balls.
You had to go there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, my tattoo was of a ping pong ball.
That's the shame. And it actually was it's where the ping pong ball hit you.
It was just a red mark.
Yeah, and you had that inked in for posterity. Oh, I'm pressing stop. I'm pressing stop.